All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Give us a minute here to get started. We'll go live on all the different platforms. We got the chat up on the screen there. Feel free to drop a comment there in the chat. See some people already dropping some comments there. Definitely appreciate it. And it looks like we're live on all the different platforms, so we can go ahead and get it started here. What we'll do is we'll take the chat off the screen for now, but go ahead and keep dropping comments there in the chat. Drop any questions you have in the chat as well. All right. So welcome everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I'm the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, joined here by our president Nick Hershey and our sales manager Jose Gonzalez. We are a lender that specializes in non-QM loans, and what we do every morning on this show is go through our actual live rates, and then we do a deep dive into a different loan type. Today's loan type is very special, the CDFI No Income Loans, and Jose will break that down for us here shortly. But first, let's go ahead and get into the rates. So Nick, if you're ready, let's pull up the rates and see what they look like today.
All right. So let me pull up the rates for today. It is June 25th, just after 11 a.m. So we're going to set up a standard scenario. We can compare the APR across all the programs. We will set up a standard single-family home, 500,000 purchase, 400,000 loan amount. That corresponds to 80% loan, 20% down payment. And we'll set everything to a 760 FICO score and an estimated 40% debt to income, as we do every day for a standard scenario. That will allow us to compare the APR here across all the different programs. If you'd like a full breakdown, an itemized loan estimate of all the fees that go into the APR, please get with our team members. They would be happy to help you out. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. And we'll check the rates for today. So the first option here, typically the most common request, 30-year fixed conventional loan for a primary home. Rates today come in at 6.49. Final APR, 6.828, just a touch above what it was yesterday, right around the same. Now, if for any reason our customer doesn't qualify for a conventional option, typically the next option we want to look at is an FHA option. FHA allows more leniency on credit issues, as well as a much higher debt to income ratio. However, it does have upfront and monthly mortgage insurance that is required. The FHA comes in today, 5.625 rate, final APR 6.594 with all of those fees. So if our customer qualifies for both, it could actually be a touch cheaper, but does have those fees that are included. And our customer that needs to use FHA, it's definitely a very close option here, as it's very close to conventional. Now for our eligible vets and active service members, VA programs are eligible. These programs are amazing. Rates as low as 5.75 and final APR 6.067 with a standard funding fee here. Notice if our veterans are eligible, they definitely want to take advantage of the VA programs. It beats FHA and conventional by quite a bit here when we compare side by side. And the final agency government option is a USDA option. Those are only for properties in USDA eligible areas. If you are looking in those areas and are eligible, these are great programs to check out. USDA comes in at 5.625 rate. Final APR 6.383. So if our customer is comparing USDA to FHA, notice USDA is a touch cheaper, as well as a touch cheaper than conventional. So if you are looking in those areas, definitely a great program to consider. Now, those are all the options for the standard options that most banks and lenders offer. And if our customer doesn't qualify, they would have to deny them. But that's where we love to start presenting our 5,000 other options here, starting with our 30-year fixed non-QM alt-doc primary. So if our customer doesn't qualify for typically a conventional or FHA, needs to use alternative docs to qualify, many other banks will have to deny them, but that's where we can come in with our non-QM program. This alt doc is probably a bank statement or similar. We have 1099, P&L, all kinds of different options. Lowest option today, 6.99 rate. Final APR 7.309. So notice it's within a half a point here of conventional, which is typical. So if our customers need that little extra help to use alternative docs, definitely a great option. And our first investment property option, lots of flexibility for investments. So our 30-year fixed alt doc for investment property, that would be a bank statement or similar. Rates come in at 7.375. Final APR 7.867 to use bank statements or similar for an investment property. And we'll compare those to, first off, our conventional option. Remember, government programs, USDA, FHA, VA don't work for investments. But we do have our conventional program for an investment property coming in at 7.375 rate. Final APR 7.740, so a touch cheaper than our alt doc option. But we always recommend our investors check out our favorite program, the DSCR option. DSCR stands for debt service coverage ratio, no income, no employment used. We simply use the estimated rental income from the appraisal to determine a DSCR value. For these demos here, we use an estimated value of 1.5, meaning the property's cash flow greater than the expenses every month. So the first option here with a 3-year prepayment penalty, which is pretty standard, comes in at 7% rate. Final APR 7.342. Notice that beats conventional, absolutely amazing. And we can even add a 5-year prepayment penalty with some programs, with rates coming in at 6.75, final APR 7.072, which really blows conventional out of the water, which is amazing. And we do have a no prepay option. Some states don't allow a prepayment penalty, and some investors prefer not to have one. That's not a problem. Rates come in at 7.625, final APR 7.986. So notice that's just a touch higher than conventional to use a DSCR with no prepayment penalty. Definitely recommend our investors check out these options, which are pretty sweet. And the final 2 demos we always do, pretty cool programs we have for non-QM 30-year fixed second mortgages. This is not a HELOC. This is a 30-year fixed, so definitely a little bit different and allows our customers that don't want to touch their first mortgage, which may be a very low rate, to still get cash out here on a primary home. Rates as low as 8.75, final APR 9.189, and these are non-QM, so we can use bank statements even for these programs. And same thing with our second mortgage for investments. Rates come in at 9.875, final APR 10.185 for investors to get cash out with a second mortgage if their first mortgage is a much lower rate and they don't want to touch it. So let me go ahead and switch our screen again and get into today's topic. So CDFI, no income, no ratio loans, definitely a very cool category. Not something we can price live on the pricer. There's only a couple outlets that allow this program. They have to be designated by the U.S. Treasury. So a very cool, unique program. So Jose, let's talk about the CDFI first and then how we can use it for these loans.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Daily Mortgage Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. The CDFI Fund, which is the Community Development Financial Institution Fund, plays an important role in generating economic growth and opportunity in some of our nation's most distressed communities. So they have targeted the No Income program to try to stimulate the underserved communities where they may not be benefiting as much from home ownership. So this is a program geared towards home ownership, primary and second home only. Right? This is not for investment properties. So let me share my options with you today on the CDFI fund. One thing I will note is that the CDFI program, if you are CDFI eligible, which would be one of the targeted groups, Blacks and Hispanics, then you're going to get an additional discount off of the rate. Now, that doesn't mean those are the only groups that are eligible to apply for this program, but if you are in one of those 2 target groups, you will get a little bit lower rate. So this is a maximum 80% LTV program. So minimum down payment is 20%. 740 is the top credit tier. So above 740, there will not be any differences. So keep in mind also, this program does have a high reserve requirement, but on the good news, the full monies for the down payment and the reserves can all come from a gift. Now, this program does not have any employment verification nor job requirement. It is a true no income, no employment job. Now, with that being said, I would not say that everyone who has the credit and the 20% down would fit into this program, because having the down payment is one thing, but you also need to be able to afford to make the payment, right? No, it doesn't make any sense closing on the loan, buying the property, and then 6 months down the road being in default and risking losing the property. Now, this program is a perfect option, for example, professionals that are transferring from one state or one city to another. They haven't accepted the job offer yet. They may have multiple job offers. They don't want to quickly accept one just so they could qualify for a loan. So you could close on your purchase and then have your home already set for you in the city you're relocating, and then calmly accept whichever may be the best job offer for you. Or you may be looking to sell your property and you don't want to have to sell it too quickly at a discount just so you could qualify for the one that you're going to purchase. So with this option, you could qualify for the new home without having to immediately sell your exiting property. So just some of the examples where you can use a CDFI. We've actually also used it with crypto investors, for example, right? They have a good income, they have good assets, may not necessarily be realized income that's yet reported on a tax return, but they do have the cash flow. That is another perfect group for the CDFI option. So this first option here, 1 unit, 20% down, 740 plus credit. You're looking at 9.375% rate at a cost of 1.75 points for a 20% down, 740 credit score. With 720 to 739, it's still 20% down. Excuse me. However, the rate does increase to 9.625. Now, there are a couple of additional rate options, but they all had higher buy down cost. Now, at our next credit tier of 700 to 719, the down payment does increase to 25% down. So below 720, 700 to 719, 25% down. Now the rate does drop to 9.375, and the cost does drop to 1.25 points, mainly because of the LTV drop. Good news, with a 680 to a 699, still only 25% down. However, the rate does increase to 10.125%. The cost does remain the same at 1.25 points. And at the lowest credit tier for this program, which is 660 to 679, the down payment does increase to 35%. So maximum 65% LTV, 35% down payment for a 660 to a 679. Good news is the rate does drop to 9.75. The cost does remain the same at 1.25 points for your 660 to 679 purchase with 35% down. And now giving you a second home option here, just so you could put it into context. And it is the same 9.375 rate, 1.75 points, the same rate and cost as primary for the second home. And now some cash out refi options. 65% is the maximum LTV for this program for a cash out refi. And you're looking at 9% and 1.25 points for your 740 plus credit score cash out refi. 65% LTV, 9%, 1.25 points. And now at the lowest credit score for the primary, it is 60% LTV max, and you're looking at 9.875 rate at a cost of 1.25 points for your cash out refi at the lowest credit score. So I showed you the highest credit score, and I showed you the lowest credit score option. And then our second home, showing you one second home option here at the high credit score, 740 plus, max 65% LTV. And you're looking at 9% at a cost of 1.25 points. And our last option here is our second home cash out refi at a 60% LTV for a 660 to a 679 credit score. 9.875% is the rate. 1.25 points is the loan discount fee for our last option here, second home. So do remember this program is available for primary and second homes only. 80% is the max LTV at the max credit score for a purchase, and 65% is the max LTV at the max credit score for a cash out refi.
All right, thank you, Jose. I don't see any questions, but definitely great program. Again, people may be relocating, people that maybe can't prove their income, maybe it's a crypto borrower, an amazing program. And then, as you said, if you are one of the CDFI eligible groups, you get a discount as well. So, great program there. I still don't see any questions, so I think we can go ahead and wrap it up. Remember, we do this 11 a.m. Eastern every weekday where we go through the live rates and then do a deep dive into different loan types. So we'll see you all tomorrow for the next episode of Daily Rates Live.